In this exercise, we are going to place these instruments and this vocalist on the stage. To do that, we're going to adjust their clip and track panning. To follow along, go get this multi-track session file, 1211 panning, down here in the Working Files Multi-Track Sessions subfolder right there. What do we have here? We have a production studio multi-track session. This was recorded in Santa Rosa, California at the Northern Lights studio there. And we're going to try to create a pleasing mix from all these tracks. We're going to start by placing these instruments on the stage, adjusting their panning, and then in the next tutorial we'll adjust their volume levels. Somewhere along the line you'd want to add effects here because the effects can change the overall volume level too, but we're going to skip that part to try to keep things relatively simple. So first we need to place these guys. So how do we place them? We need to adjust their stereo balance control. To see that control, we need to zoom in a little bit, and that's the control right there. You've seen it before. Starting with the vocalist, where should she be placed? Right in the center, so we're not going to worry about that. Let's just listen to it for a second to hear her.
I couldn't give you what you wanted.
So she should be right in the center. How about the guitar? Well, let's place the guitar on the stage someplace besides the center. Now just keep in mind that the stereo balance control or the pan control has values that go from left 100 to right 100. So if we want to place the guitar, let's say on the left side of the stage, if it's left 50, then that'll be in the center of the left side of the stage. So if this is the whole left side of the stage here, then this would be the center, and left 50 would place the guitar smack dab in the middle of the left side. So to do that, I can just drag this controller here like that, or I can put my cursor over the number. It turns into the scrubby, and I can just start dragging to the left, or I can just click on here, turn it blue, and type in L50, like that. That'll place the guitar off to the left. Now the lead guitar, I'm going to place the lead guitar later. I'm going to use keyframes in this panning envelope inside the clip to have the lead guitar actually start on the right side of the stage and then move toward the center during the solo, and then move back to the right side later. So we're going to leave the lead guitar alone. The bass guitar is almost always left in the center because it's hard sometimes to hear the direction that the bass is coming from, particularly if you have a subwoofer. So it's just best to leave the bass in the center along with the vocalist. Let's go on down a little bit farther. How about the organ? We've got the organ left and the organ right. Then we've got them going via their outputs to the organ bus. So what I want to do is I want to spread the organ out a little bit, have the left channel be a little bit to the left and have the right channel be a little bit to the right, and then place that on the stage using the bus. So first let's just spread them out a bit here. Let's have a width or a breadth. You got a potential breadth across the entire stage of 200, 100 left, 100 right. So when you think about the breadth for the organ, it might be something like, let's say, 30 out of 200. So, it consumes 15% of the stage. So I'm going to take the left side here, left 15 or so. I'll just type in L15, L15. And I want to take the right channel and have that be R15 or R15. There we go. And now we've spread them out. But what I want to do is I want to move the whole unit here, the whole instrument, off to the right. So we've got the guitar left 50, back up here, so you remember that. The rhythm guitar over left 50. So let's have the organ bus move over to the right 50. So I just type in R50. So now we've got the bass guitar in the center, the rhythm guitar to the left, and the organ off to the right. Let's just listen to that. I'm going to solo those guys. Solo the organ and solo the bass and the rhythm guitar, and just see how they're placed on the stage. If you've got stereo headsets on or stereo speakers, you can hear that the organ's to the right, the guitar is to the left, and the bass is in the center. So I'm going to unsolo those guys and move on down the ways here to the horn section. Horn section is a little bit more complicated because we have 4 instruments, 4 tracks inside the horn section going to the horn section bus, but it's the same theory. We're going to create a horn section that has some breadth to it. So we got horns left, horns right, tenor sax left, tenor sax right. So let's have the horns left and the horns right be the left side of the group as we're looking at them from the audience. So let's spread them out a little bit. Now we had the organ spread out to a value of 30 altogether. So let's spread these guys out to, let's say, 50 altogether. I'll say 40 to 50. So I'm going to have this one go left, let's say 20. So I just type in L20. Okay, I'll have this one be, let's say, L10. Something like that. And we'll have the tenor sax left be right 10. and then the intersection right be right 20. So now we've got a horn spread out from left 20 to right 20. But we can take the horn section and place the horn section. So we're going to take the horn section, let's say, and put it over there toward the organ. Where the organ was right 50, we'll take these guys, let's say right 60, or right 65, just to put a little bit to the right of the organ. So let's listen to those guys now. We'll listen to the whole group. I'll just turn off the vocalist to make sure you don't sort of have her in the mix, so we just hear the rest of the instruments together. Let's listen to this. Actually, I need to move them over so you can see where the horn section comes in. Here we go. So it's up to you to decide if that works for you, but you can see that we've placed them off to the right as a group. That's one of the great advantages of using a bus. So finally, let's go on down to the drum section. Drum section, we've got two mics. We've got the overhead mic left and overhead mic right. That's a typical miking situation for a trap set. So we've got these two overhead mics. Let's just have the left mic go a little bit to the left, like let's say left 15 or something like that. We'll type it in or scroll over, L15. Let's have the right mic be, say, right 15, right 15, and we'll leave the snare drum in the center. And now we really don't need to move the drums. The drums, like the bass, should be in the center, so that's a typical placement for the drums. So now we have placed all these instruments. Let's just turn them all on now. Just kind of give it a shot. I'm going to put it where we can hear the horn section as well. So let me just back up just a little bit. And let's hear how this all sounds.
Expecting all of my love in return. I never said that's what I wanted.
There we go. Now, if you were watching the VU meter, you might have noticed that the right channel got a little bit loud there when the horn section came in, but we can deal with that when we adjust the volume in the next tutorial, but we're going to live with this mix right now. I think it's a pretty good mix. I do want to do one more thing though. We've been adjusting the track panning, the track stereo balance. I want to look at a clip stereo balance. I want to use keyframes inside the clip panning envelope. We're going to take a look at the lead guitar right over here. Let's just solo the lead guitar for now so you can hear him in isolation. Expand the view a little bit so you get a better look inside that track. Now, I could adjust the panning for the clip, or I could adjust the panning inside the track. Now, here's the track envelope view. Right now it just shows volume, but I could click on this little flyout menu and say, let's add panning to this. It would look basically just like that. We could adjust panning here or adjust panning here. Now, since the clip is the whole track, essentially, there's only one clip here. Either way will work, but I'm going to work inside the clip here just for convenience. Let me close this. What I want to do is I want to start the guitar off on the right side someplace. I'm going to click here and add a keyframe. And now I want to have that guitar start on the right side. So if I pull it up, that's left, down, that's right. So we'll start about right, let's say 50 or so. Have the guitarist come in there and then make his way towards center stage. So I'm going to click out another keyframe there and pull him up to about 0. And then he'll come on the center stage, and at the end, I'll just take him back kind of gradually toward the end here and bring him back down to the right side. And that's where we'll let him stay for the rest of the song, where he'll be finishing off here on the right side of the stage. But for a solo, he comes stage center. Let's just kind of hear how that works. I'm thinking that I probably should have started him moving later because there's that little bit of silence there at the beginning. So I'm going to move this over a little bit like that and bring this over a little bit so that he starts coming onto the stage right as he starts playing. Let's try that again. Sort of like he's got a wireless pickup attached to his guitar and he's walking to center stage, and somehow that can be translated through the speakers at the concert if you're listening to this in a concert. But I think you can see we move the panning using keyframes, and that's kind of the goal here, to show you that you can adjust the panning for the track overall or the clip overall, but you can also use keyframes inside the envelope here in the panning envelope to control the placement over time, make it change over time. So let me just kind of close this down. We'll listen to all of them together. I'll just make this a little bit shorter as it was before. Let's just kind of hear how this all sounds inside the mix here.
I know how much you wanted me to stay, but it just couldn't be that way.
All right, so he walks into center stage, and then he'll eventually walk back to the right side and finish up the song on the right side. So that is how you adjust the placement of instruments in a vocalist using panning inside a multi-track session.